Welcome in. Happy Monday. It is Main Street Today time. I'm Devin O'Day. And if you are following us on YouTube right now, I ask you to click that red subscribe button and the little bell beside it. And every time we go live, it alerts you. And if you follow us on Facebook, on Main Street Today, or wherever you watch this show, just click subscribe on Main Street Today, a click like or a follow. And it'll let you know whenever we go live as well. We tell the stories of the Mid-State every single day. And there's so many things going on in Middle Tennessee. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy good. So we want to start out with something really cool coming up in Sumner County. Hendersonville, little city by the lake. Have you ever been to a hot air balloon extravaganza, a festival where they have the glow at the end of the day and those hot air balloons all light up? It's just absolutely stunning. And it's coming up in Hendersonville at Sumnerfest.
Hendersonville Area Chamber of Commerce would like to invite you to join us on August 7th for Sumnerfest, the city's premier hot air balloon festival for all of Sumner County. We're excited. It's on August 7th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Sanders Ferry Park. Mark your calendar today because this is going to be a free family fun event that you will not want to miss. Join us for hot air balloons, live entertainment, food, vendors galore, and so much more for you and your family to enjoy. Again, visit sumnerfest.com for more information or call the chamber at 615-824-2818 to reserve your vendor booth today. August 7th, Sumnerfest. It's a date and an event you won't want to miss.
Okay, you ready to save those dates? That's August 7th, and it's something very, very cool, and kids and families, and it's always free. That's the cool thing, is that most of the things that we talk about here on Main Street Today are free. And speaking of, if you have not checked out Mary Hance, Miss Cheap, she's part of our Main Street family. You go to mainstreetnash.com, give us a follow there, and give us a chance to be your daily check-in with all around the mid-state. And we want to keep you well-versed in what's happening. The Nashville Sounds have a homestand coming up against the Louisville Bats. The last time the Bats will be in town, they're part of the Cincinnati Reds franchise. Tomorrow, that starts a great homestand. They've got fireworks packages. They've got all-you-can-eat packages. And they have Wagon Tails events where you can bring your dog. It's so very cool. NashvilleSounds.com. It is the coolest place to see a fireworks show. It is so much fun. It is the NashvilleSounds.com is where you get all the information. Get you some tickets, and you can even get a group of your friends together and rent a suite. Little air-conditioned suite action. You got your bar right there. It is an absolutely great way to have a party. Hey, a shout out today to Jill Pavel, my publicist from Publicity Nation, doing some good things. Glad to have you there, Jill. And also one of my ride or dies. And we got Steve Burney. Good morning, Steve. Glad to have you with us. Well, there is a buddy that I got. Talk about ride or die. She's got one of those ride or die songs on her YouTube channel. You can find out. Miss Victoria Veneer is going to join us real quick. We're going to talk about the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. How are you, baby girl?
I'm doing great, Devin. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry for the odd, backdrop, but I'm in the recording studio today, recording a soundtrack, and so I'm running up between takes there, and I thought, well, this is a great, I would love to come on with Devin, so I'm going to make it happen. So
I'm so glad. We're going to talk a little bit about the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival coming up starting August 19th. This coming August 19th. Y'all won't be there.
Yes, you are. We are so thrilled to have you hosting this year. You don't even know. We have been singing your praises behind your back for months now. So
I'm
just
so excited.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to move in up there, and we're going to have a great time. Let's talk about some of the people who are going to be there.
Okay, great. Well, we have got, Tony Arata is doing a special show. We've got Leroy Parnell coming in to do a special show. We've got great hit songwriters like Steve Dean, Will Nance, Brady Seals. I mean, you name it. The list. If you go on GatlinburgSongwritersFestival.com, it'll just, show you everybody that's playing. We're all kind of all over the city at different times, and just super excited about the new face of what we're trying to do down there.
Well, speaking of the new face, if you go to GatlinburgSongwritersFestival.com, you can find out that if you are a writer, there's a tab there. If you want to do a special co-write with some of these hit writers, they're doing co-write packages.
Yes, ma'am. And you can sign up for those, and they go on for 2 days. So, and some of the writers that I just mentioned are participating in those. Additionally, Danny Wells, who's got a string of hits, he is also participating in those. Bill White is participating in that. He's one of our comedic writers, and he's a serious writer too, but we love Bill because he keeps the room laughing, and he's going to be down there. And I'm in a group with him called Hits and Grins. Steve Dean, Bill White, and myself, we tour all over the country, and Bill is always the guy that's keeping them laughing. So
he is, well. But let us also know that he's also a Grammy-nominated or Grammy-winning songwriter with the stuff that he did with Hillary and
Hillary Scott and the Scott family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he's got that song about Peppaw, and My Safe Haven is the name of the song, and it's with Hillary Scott and Hillary from Lady A and her family, who's her mom is Linda Davis. No slouch there either. Incredibly talented lady. So they got together and did this amazing Christian album, and it's just phenomenal. And he got nominated for a Grammy for his song on that, and won. They won Christian Records. So yes, he's, outside of him being incredibly funny and writing all those songs, he's got songs like that. So
and it's phenomenal. And you guys have all sorts of really neat things that are, aside from being all these great shows happening, there's a way to interact.
100%. So if you're an aspiring writer and say you don't know anything about Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival and you want to get connected, you can go online, you can sign up, become a member of Gatlinburg Songwriters. You start getting the newsletter, you can get plugged into co-writes. It's a great way to network the people who are starting out and maybe just want to learn some more about writing. And as the aforementioned about the writing sessions that you can actually purchase, those are, they hold their weight in gold. I got to be one of the writers. Brady Seals and I were two of the writers that did that co-write a couple of years ago. I've also done it with Will Nance. It's an amazing experience for everybody involved, because there's a lot of people in the room. You're throwing out ideas. You're going through the mechanics of writing a song. And that's inevitably, this Songwriters Festival is a non-for-profit. And our reason for wanting to make the festival bigger and better is just that. I mean, there's so much rich history in East Tennessee that ties in with Tennessee music. I mean, Rocky Top was written there, right at the Gatlinburg Inn. So we'll be talking about that, of course, at the festival as well. There's an induction ceremony going on for Del Bryant. There's so many cool things going on, and Gatlinburg and the East Tennessee mountains hold such a rich history. I mean, that's where our music came from. Is from that Appalachian, sound.
Absolutely. And the birthplace of country music was not Nashville. That's where it started being recorded. It started in Bristol, Tennessee, up in East Tennessee, and that's where they all came together.
Jimmy Rogers. Yeah, that's right. And so it's really cool to have it there, not just because of that, but you've got the Smoky Mountains and a beautiful backdrop. There's great food, there's great entertainment. I mean, you just name it. Now, who doesn't want to go sit at the foot of the Smokies for a Songwriters Festival? I mean, I don't know, how else to say it. It's, you know what I'm saying?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'm going to play one of your songs and then follow it up with Tony Arata live on stage from the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Awesome. You are so sweet. Thank you.
I got to play The Spirit of the Horse because that's where my heart is. Can I play that?
Awesome. Yes, please. Please play it.
And so awesome. Victoria, you're in the studio. What are you recording today?
Okay, so today I'm working this is one of the other hats that I wear. I am a vocal director. So if there's a soundtrack that's being produced, I contract the singers. I sing on it myself, but then I'll bring in, a few other singers and we'll go through and do all of the VGVs. If you go and see a show nowadays where you're watching like a show at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and you see the live band and you see the singers, everybody plays to a click track now to make it bigger. So the soundtrack I'm recording today is actually for a Halloween project coming up where, we're putting on the live drums, live bass, the live guitar, the live singers, and so that they'll have, it makes it a larger sound. We'll still have the live band and live singers playing, but we are recording the sweetener track.
Oh my gosh. And a lot of people don't even realize that goes on. Well, that's just fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking a little time with us today.
I would do anything for you.
Well, same here.
I mean, you're one of my heroes. So when Devin calls, I say, hello, where we go?
Well, I'm right there with you, girlfriend. And anybody that can write a song to commemorate the amazing thing that the horse has done for our country, I love it.
But can I talk a little bit about the project that was on? Just
maybe
give it a little bit of runway. So this was on a project called This Is My America, which was the only time in my life I had been actually commissioned to write for a subject matter, a particular subject matter. I mean, of course, as staff songwriters, we get that pitch list. We are writing for artists, but this was so different. These executive producers came to town. They picked, I think, 25 writers in town, some of the people we mentioned earlier and some of the up and comings, which was me at the time. And they gave us, things like, okay, we're going to write about the Trail of Tears. We're going to write about the immigration process back then. In other words, they were trying to put America's rich history to music, and their vision was that we bring it to life. We do a live performance with the Nashville Symphony, and we kind of get this almost a PBS thing going. Yeah. And we wanted to do something that would make history more fun for kids to learn. And then it turned into a much more serious project, which is like, yes, it can be that, but it can be also so much more. Right. So I was commissioned to write about the Boston Tea Party, which I wrote with Steve Dean. It's a song called Tea in the Sea. I'll send it to you. And then I wrote a song about my grandfather coming to America from Italy. It's called 32 Questions, because back then they came through Ellis Island and they had to go through a process where they had to answer all these questions. And so I wrote about him, and it's called 32 Questions. And then this wasn't on there. This song wasn't on there that you're about to play. I went to the executive producers and I said, I noticed that there's nothing on here about the horse. And they were like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, wars were fought and won on horseback. Crops were tilled and plowed by horses. Transportation before the car took us from east to west and back again. And I said, and he's like, well, okay, you've got my ear, write something. This song, I wrote it in 20 minutes and turned it in the next day, and it got on the project. So wow, that's what a horse can do. Yeah. Oh,
it's going to make me cry. That's going to make me cry. Well, I love this horse song so much. And I just am so glad to have a vehicle here at Main Street today to share it. Yeah. And you guys, this is an example of the kind of things that you're going to hear at the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival. People think it's just country music, or it's just, no, it's gospel music. It's rock music. It's blues. It's everything music. and it
Yeah.
expands your horizon about writing. So if you've ever loved creative music, the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival is for you. Thank you, Victoria.
Amen. I'm so excited. Thank you for playing this.
Absolutely. God bless you. You have a great rest of your day and a wonderful session.
You too.
La 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 la. Sometimes I have to wonder if people realize where America would be without your sacrifice. Today it's the rodeo and races where you soar, but there was a time when you were so much more. You listen close to our commands, hold the plows that tame this land, charged with soldiers into battle, help the cowboys herd their cattle through the wind and rain and snow, carried us from east to west. To the spirit of the horse we owe our debt. From generals in armies to honored chiefs and tribes, you offered up your service and you often gave your life. In pictures and on statues, you're part of history. So we salute your contribution and your gallant majesty. You listen close to our commands, hold the plows that tame this land, charged with soldiers into battle, help the cowboys herd their cattle through the wind and rain and snow, back and forth from east to west. To the spirit of the horse we owe our debt. You helped us win our freedom, you're a friend so tried and true. Hey, I know we chose the eagle, we could have easily chose you. You honor heroes quietly to their final ride to rest in peace. Boots in stirrups facing back, riderless you lead the pack. We owe a lot of gratitude for giving us your best. To the spirit of the horse we owe our debt. To the spirit of the horse we owe our debt. La 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 la.
I really love when there's something that says to purchase this song. There's a really amazing thing that's going around on the internet that says people will line up to spend, $5 for a cup of coffee that took a minute to brew, and it's gone and it's over in just a few sips. And then people spend a lifetime learning to write and thousands of dollars to record with a song that blesses your heart forever, and people don't even want to spend $1 for it. To purchase music, you allow people to continue making music, and you allow your artists to continue blessing your heart and blessing your life. You'll find all about that at the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival.com. Get you a ticket that gives you a chance to do all the things during the week. There are some special ticketed shows for Brady Seals, for Leroy Parnell that'll be done. They're worth the extra money. Go and enjoy just immersing yourself into the music. Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival.com. We're going to hear from Tony Arata at the end of the show, but before that, we're going to talk about something else to save the date for. It's the Tomato Arts Festival in East Nashville.
The countdown is on. Daylight will fade to the level of moonlight in the path of totality.
When I move across the United States, throughout Tennessee, it's an amazing experience. Always protect your eyes while you're looking at it.
It is a tongue-in-cheek, fun festival all about the lowly tomato, and it is so much fun. It's in East Nashville. Okay, we've been to Hendersonville. We have been to Gatlinburg, and we have been to East Nashville. Now we're going to go out to Hickman County, out right past Dixon to the Johnny Cash Farm, where the biggest contemporary Christian music festival will be taking place.
Bon Aqua, Tennessee, not known for much more than its natural spring water for which it was named. Many pass it in search for Johnny Cash's farmhouse, a private getaway the country legend called the center of my universe. Somewhere at the crossroads, some interesting history was lost. Until now. Until now, these events and this stage were hidden memories of Cash's family, friends, and neighbors. Once again, it will be a sanctuary for songwriters and storytellers, and there will be music.
We are 19 days away from Lifest, taking place at Hideaway Farm in Hickman County. That is west of town, west of Nashville. If you've never been there, it is beautiful. And part of the ticket involves touring the Johnny Cash summer home that is out there. Not only will they have music, but they're going to have speaker events. They're going to have some seminars. It's just going to literally be so much fun. And of course, Kids Zone, you can camp. I always say it's like a healthy Bonnaroo for Christians. It's going to be amazing. And all those big names that you just saw fly across the screen, they're going to all be there. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. Speaking of wonderful events, if you want to go to something very, very cool, the Williamson County Fair starts August 6th. It's one of the first county fairs that we've got coming up. And the fair couldn't exist in any county without their volunteers. We're going to do a shout out right now to the volunteers. If you want to volunteer for this year's fair, you can line up because it's going to be so much fun. The Williamson County Fair starting August 6th. But we want to make sure if you want to compete in some of the agricultural things, if you're a kid who wants to present artwork, if you want to be part of the culinary contest, the deadline for that, all online, it is July 25th. So even before Life Fest, you got to get all of your competitive things ready for the fair by July 25th. the Fairest of the Fair competition, the competition for kids, for all their artwork. It is just going to be fantastic. August 6th is when that starts, Williamson County Fair. And if you didn't see something in that video that gives you a chance to volunteer, my favorite one was a little boy who wore the t-shirt that says, "They poop, we scoop." And wherever you are, if it's not the Williamson County Fair, wherever you're watching in the country, maybe it's like my friend Terry Luno, who's watching right now, and it's the Rapides Parish Fair. Find a way to volunteer, because I'm going to tell you, the last year took a lot out of us, and it took a lot away from us. And for every American, your fair is your chance to be Mayberry again, to get together with people that you love, people that are from your community, celebrating in the most American way possible. There's nothing more American than we can do. So we hope that you'll be part of your county fair. Hey, we're going to close with Tony Arata on stage at the Country Music Hall of Fame, a place where you can become a very, very affordable family membership at the Country Music Hall of Fame that allows you to go to events and to shows and to things constantly. They have new album releases, they have celebrations and birthdays and things all the time. And you can be a part of it just by going to countrymusichofoffame.org. And we're going to close with Tony Arata, one of the greatest songwriters in our town. And he will be on stage at the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival, the Gatlinburg Songwriters Festival.com, starting August 19th. I'm going to be there, and a whole bunch of other people. Hope you'll come to join us too. Be safe, be kind. Remember, you are loved.
I hung out at a little place called Douglas Corner Cafe. That was the only place I could get in, sneak in the back door. And one day, not long after we moved here, I walked in, and there was a young man sitting on a bar stool up on stage singing a song. He looked every bit the cowboy. I still remember the song he was singing. It was "I've Got a Good Thing Going," that wound up on his first album. And I introduced myself, and it was Garth Brooks. I was so very grateful to say we're still friends, and we wound up doing a bunch of early shows, open mics and whatever we could get. It wasn't like people were begging us to come play. But we did a show at the Bluebird, and I had just written this song. This was the second song I wrote when I moved to town. And I played it, and he said, "Pal, if I ever get a record deal, man, I'm doing that song." And to have one of your peers say something like that was one of the biggest compliments that you could ever receive. And I was so honored. But it was also tempered with the knowledge that at the time, Garth was doing construction, and I was loading trucks at UPS. So I knew we were right on the cusp of something great. I mean, it was just any minute the record industry was going to bow to us, But 3 years later, he stood on the stage of the Bluebird and got signed to Capitol Records. And he called me and he said, "If that song's still available, I'd sure love to do it." So the irony of ironies, the greatest thing that ever happened to me as a songwriter was to have a song turned down for 3 years, because it wound up with exactly the person that was supposed to do it in the first place and the guy that got it from the very first time that he heard it. And I will always, I've seen him do a lot of things, play for 1 million people in Central Park and whatnot, but I'll always think of him as a songwriter first. And so I'm very honored that it was a songwriter who did this song. It's called "The Dance." Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above, when for a moment all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. everything. For a moment, wasn't I the king? If I had only known how that king would fall. Hey, now who's to say? You knew I might have changed it all. So now I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end and the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have